Welcome, Earthlings! From the minds of Dylan Oltoft and Rob the Piano, we bring you Laughing on a Prayer!
Hey guys, it's me for your favorite rom-com. Don't be with her, be with me. I feel like that sounded like a melting Nicolas Cage.
That did sound a little bit.
I was trying to be Owen Wilson.
Nicholas, or was it Nicolas Cage or one of those, like the sort of hot dog rollers?
Nicolas Cage on like a kebab spit.
Yeah. I did watch National Treasure actually the other day.
Turning in his grave. Hello there, everyone. Apologies for that crapness, but we welcome.
It's not going to get any better.
Has it ever? What are we on?
No.
Like 38 or something?
38? I don't know. I can't count that high.
But most podcasts would do these in seasons. How many episodes usually counts as a season for something? Because in anime, it really varies. You can have like 20 episodes in a season, and then there's One Punch Man that only has like 10. If we were on One Punch Man, we'd be on season 4 by now or something. Season 3.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think we'd live that long. One Punch Man.
Hey, we could be. What is it? We could be like D. Oh, what were their ranking systems? Like S, A, B, C. We could be D's.
Yeah, we could definitely be D's.
Definitely give criminals the D.
Yeah.
Welcome to the next episode of Laughing on a Prayer. I am Dylan Oltoft.
And I am Hugh Grant.
You buck-toothed prick. You smarmy-smiled motherfucker.
No, come on, man. He's from Britain. We need to somewhat support him.
You know what annoys me is the fact that some stereotypes are true and we have fucked up teeth. I don't know if every person in Britain should just have, braces or retainers, just from the second, because I have fucked up teeth. My teeth look like a vandalised graveyard.
I have fucked up teeth as well. But the thing is, though, it's you live in Britain, you're probably going to get them knocked out outside a pub anyway. So it's what's the point?
Yeah. That's why dentists in Scotland moonlight as bartenders.
Yeah, exactly. It's because they don't get business at the dentist, so you've got to have another job.
I do love that old joke about how dentists always give out the most sugary candy and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's your reward for going to the dentist are some sweets.
But yes, we are doing a very particular episode today, because as you may have remembered if you have been following the lore of Laughing on a Prayer, from the Valentine's Day episode, me and Rob are absolute miserable misanthropes, and today we are going to be attacking the beloved genre of cinema, rom-coms.
Yeah.
Rob, what does that stand for?
Well, last time I checked, it stood for Roman commanders.
Oh, Roman Commanders, another history episode. Those always do well.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. It stands for...
Roman commercials?
Oh, yeah.
Is your gladius chafing your inner thigh? Trying to Caligulagon.
Caligulagon.
I don't know.
It'll send you... It's stark raving mad.
We're trained in improv.
Yeah, exactly. We're trained in half of what rom-com means. It's romantic comedies.
Oh.
Well, I say we're trained in comedy. Just because we're trained doesn't mean we're good at it, but we try.
Romantic comedy. So halfway through knobbing your missus, you try a little bit of your stand-up routine.
Yeah, exactly. But from personal experience, don't ever make jokes about them while you're doing it.
Is it sort of like maybe you're getting intimate with your partner, you put on some Barry White music and the movie Mouse Hunt in the background? A little bit of romantic comedy.
I put on La Cucaracha.
Oh, mix that with Flight of the Bumblebees.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
it's Flight of the Valkyries.
Oh, right.
Not Flight of the Bumblebees.
I have a degree. Yeah. That's as funny as that fucking slip-up I made last time when I called it, in the book episode, I think To Kill a Mockingjay.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingjay.
Conflating it with the Hunger Games.
To Kill a Mockingjay.
But yes, me and Rob have seen many rom-coms over the times, and to be honest, some Okay. Some are absolutely horrible, and some are just downright fucking toxic. Let's start off a little bit of positive here, just like my previous test results. Rob, do you have any rom-coms you recall fondly?
Yeah, man. Love Actually is
That's just you just like it's got Bilbo Baggins in it.
No, I like. It's also got Alan Rickman in it. It's also got Rowan Atkinson in it.
That one scene is fucking.
Yeah, and Love Actually is a good Christmas movie.
Oh god.
So I suppose I actually see it more of a Christmas movie than I see it.
Is that just because
like
it takes place at Christmas?
Yes, I mean that's what a Christmas movie is, right?
I'd say a Christmas movie has to be about Christmas. But...
No, it has to take place during Christmas.
Let's not do this.
Love Actually, I like that. I like that. Although I will never forgive Alan Rickman for buying that bitch that office top, that necklace. I will never forgive him.
£200.
Yeah, exactly. He is like that character in Love Actually is more of a villain than Hans Gruber.
How do you know the two aren't related? What if that was Hans Gruber's origin story? His wife found out, left him, and in a bid to get her back, he took over Nakatomi Plaza.
And became German.
Well, that's the thing. He left England in disgrace, lived a few years in Germany, maybe got involved with the mercenaries. And you know how you develop an accent when you live in another country for a while?
It's usually the other way around, isn't it? It's the Germans that leave Germany in disgrace and go to an allied country. I mean...
I do love that one bit when Rowan Atkinson is being an absolute bastard concierge, they call them, like really fancily wanking over the what you wanted gift wrapped. Oh, what are you going to do now? Covered in yogurt, put it in chocolate buttons. Alright,
have you ever had an experience like that? I have at one point.
What, chocolate buttons?
No, buying something. It was, funny enough, at a jewellery store, and they were like, oh, do you want it in this box? Or do you want it in this box? I was like, which is the cheaper box? This one. It's like, okay, do you want like a special note? Like, no, like.
I can imagine going into a jewellery store and them asking, what's the cheapest thing in here? And they'll just say you.
Also, can you please take your shoes off before you come in?
Well, as you know, I am engaged, and I've actually had to buy a really fancy ring and a really fancy box, but they didn't wank on about wrapping it or anything. They pretty much just, once my card had cleared, they pretty much just threw it at me.
It's like, oh, you can't afford this, get out. What about you? Do you have any rom-coms that you sort of have a soft spot for, I guess?
Well, let's be fair here, and I'm going to be very loose with my definition of romantic comedy here, because to be fair, and I will argue this, I would argue Jim Carrey's The Mask is a romantic comedy. Because Stanley Ipkiss's whole motivation is getting with the gangster's like girlfriend sort of thing, and I'd say there's like, and obviously the Mask himself is very romantic, like Pepe Le Pew, so kind of rapey, but hey, a rom-com's without a little bit of rapiness isn't a rom-com.
No, definitely.
Surely The Mask qualifies as a rom-com.
I think definitely, as you said, in the sort of loosest form of the term, I think you could.
I think Jaws is a rom-com. Clearly, the love of the sea mixed with a shark's love of eating people.
Yeah, that could definitely be a rom-com. It's more like Romeo and Juliet as well. Like, except Romeo and Juliet's shit. The shark dies at the end. Subversing expectations of a rom-com.
I think 300's a rom-com. Clearly, Leonidas wanted to taste Xerxes' gold.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And
you could feel the sexual tension as he gripped his shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely could. You definitely could.
As for actual declared romantic comedies, goes without saying, nothing involving... Owen Wilson, fucking hell, he is literally a comedy cancer.
He's alright in Shanghai Nights.
That's
Shanghai
only
Noon.
good because of Jackie Chan.
No, Owen Wilson's he's got some good lines in that.
So I'd honestly argue Rush Hour's only good because of Jackie Chan.
Depends which one.
Chris Tucker's kind of annoying. He needs Jackie Chan to work off of.
In the first one, it's really good. Second one's alright. I like the third one.
I actually don't think I ever saw the third one.
Oh, do you not? I actually think it's my favourite out of all of them. I'm probably going to get hate for this, but the third one's actually my favourite.
You controversial stance in today's social climate.
Yeah, talking about Rush Hour 3 being your favourite. I mean, if you are talking about the third film, most of the time it is the worst, isn't it?
Yeah. In terms of, I guess, what's that Adam Sandler film? Wedding Singer? That's kind of a rom-com, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Happy Gilmore, Click.
Click makes me cry.
I've seen Jack and Jill. Yeah, that was a dark time.
That made me cry, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Al Pacino was in that.
Was he actually? No way.
Do you not remember? The whole film was about getting him to do a fucking donut commercial.
Oh, yeah.
And he really fancied Jill. It was just...
Oh, yeah. I only saw it once, to be fair.
That's one time too many. That's 2 times too many.
Yeah.
You need to unsee it before you watch it.
Is there a way to minus watch something?
Yeah, that way, even when you do watch it, it doesn't count because you've already minus watched it.
Obviously minus watch. So if you watch it the first time, you've actually watched it the 0. So yeah.
Rolling off rom-coms in my head now. Goes without saying, Mamma Mia is a hot shit bed of cesspool wank. But I've already talked about how much I hate that in our musical episode.
I do like ABBA though.
ABBA is the music is old standards. It's more like mum music. Sorry to be offensive here and all that or whatever, but
I like ABBA.
I feel like it's mum music. You know, they got the wooden spoon in the kitchen going Dancing Queen.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely never done that.
You've done worse things with a wooden spoon.
I've done way worse things with a wooden spoon.
To me.
Yeah, brought a whole new meaning to the word getting the wooden spoon. You don't just lose, you lose like part of your soul.
Would you count... You know what's an unintentional romantic comedy?
Yeah.
The Room.
The Room.
Because that's meant to be like this romance story, but it's just too fucking hilarious.
Serious Hollywood movie. Oh yeah, The Room.
That's an unintentional romantic comedy.
Oh yeah, what are like some unintentional ones? Like,
definitely Twilight.
Definitely Twilight. I mean, that's funny for different reasons, like how bad it is.
Also, the way it takes itself obviously so serious. Don't get me wrong, I understand it's not for teenage girls. You know, we're two men in our fucking...
It's not for teenage girls. It is for teenage girls, I swear.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, like, it's
definitely for teenage girls.
It's for teenage girls, it's not for us sort of thing. We're grown men in our late 20s. Like,
I mean, even when we were like teenage men.
I hated Twilight, probably almost to an obsessively sad degree, even though I had never read the books and I had no intention of watching the films, but I really hated Twilight.
I think my sort of thing for Twilight is that I didn't hate Twilight, but like the fans of Twilight were really annoying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really hate this film, but apparently I could respect Twilight for being as low, the first one film at least being as low budget as it was, but making so much money. I think I can respect it in that
Probably only did because of the name. If it was just a vampire romance movie with all that without the Twilight name attached to it, it would have faded into obscurity.
Yeah, but this brings us on to our next bit about we were talking about how rom-coms, some of the behaviour in rom-coms is incredibly unhealthy.
Oh, yes. So this is what, honestly, in my opinion, this works for men and especially women. I don't know if you've seen How to Lose a Guy in like 10 days or anything like that.
No, I've seen How to Lose Friends and Alienate People with Simon Pegg.
I haven't seen
that. Christian Dunst.
No.
Oh, have you not? Oh, that's actually an alright rom-com.
Well, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Basically, there's a man and a woman, and they're each pretty much having a bet. There are so many rom-coms, I want to quickly say, that for some reason start with, like, a guy only being with someone for a bet, and then third act, after they've actually fallen in love with the person, and the person finds out, it was a bet, and then they prove, I fucking hate the fucking cookie-cutter formula. Yeah. Anyway.
It's, The Proposal with... Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, where she's like Canadian and she needs to have she needs to get like citizenship to work
a
there.
green card sort of thing.
Yeah, so she forces Ryan Reynolds, who, funny enough, is also Canadian, like in real life.
Oh yeah.
To like pretend to be, together and have like this sham sort of. Relationship. Yeah, it's the same thing basically. It's like, oh well, originally it wasn't real, but now it is. After a week, that's it.
But yeah, the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is obviously basically both of these man and woman are on a bet with their friend or whatever that they can make the other person dump them in 10 days. So they're each being horrible to each other. But they're not allowed to make the other one quit them, sort of thing. And it just escalates and escalates and escalates. And these two people doing horrible things, driving each other. Actually, this is like, honestly, like embarrassing them in public, fucking with their mind, like genuine emotional and mental abuse of each other.
Damn,
and then they just fall in love at the end. It's so psychotic.
Yeah, that is really bad, isn't it? It's like the idea of like negging, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be really mean to someone, but then they're gonna like you. It's like, no, like if you want people to like you, like maybe, I don't know, be nice to them. I know that's weird, guys. I know that's weird.
They each needed the other person to leave them, so they just kept upping and upping the ante. And I guess, yeah, you take a step back, it's something dumb, but when you think about it as human beings, these people are fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
And so many rom-coms have like these narcissistic people. Usually there's a couple
Love Actually does have the fucking guy, you know, with, I mean, everyone knows that scene, you know, the guy with the signs and shit, like that fucking
the
dude.
Run to the airport.
Yeah,
there's always a run to an airport in a rom-com.
There's always a run somewhere. It is mostly an airport, though.
Yeah,
it is.
Maybe not so much post 9/11.
Yeah, no, you.
But
can't...
I'm in love, taser.
Would it be post 9/11? I don't think it'd be taser. It's like, I loved you so much, I took 30 rounds of 9mm in the back.
I wonder if 9/11 hadn't happened, it would have only escalated from there. Like the guy actually runs on the plane and hijacks the plane out of love. I think that's the golden moment problem with rom-coms. Anything is justifiable if you're in love.
If it's for love.
That's the sick fantasy romantic comedies. These insanely narcissistic and fucking horrific decisions are all justified and okay because it's love. It's romantic.
Yeah, it's romantic, so it's okay. And it also is the fact that, you know, the person you're trying to impress, they're like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like in reality, they'd be like, you are like, seek help. Like you need pills, big pills. I
killed the last white rhino alive and carved your name into its body and live streamed it. See how much I love you? And she's on the other side of the Skype screen like, he really does care. That's rom-com and it's fucking hell.
That's true, actually.
Again, it's usually a standard rom-com is another formula is there's a wedding going on and the person is afraid to tell it's either the bride or the groom their actual feelings, so they try and break up a wedding. I've seen so many rom-coms where the main character is trying to destroy this wedding, and as we both know, weddings cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they cost a shit ton.
They're marrying the wrong person. It's always some like snarky architect or snarky business guy that doesn't treat them right.
Shrek at least got away with it because Lord Farquaad was a bad guy.
And he was rich as fuck, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, you can give Shrek a pass on that. But, yeah...
Well, that's how they justify it, because usually breaking up a wedding's fucking evil, so they make it a snarky business asshole.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, with Love Actually, like, Keira Knightley got married to, whatever his name is. Like, they're married, and then the dude fucking turns up at her house, knowing that they're married, and you're like, mate, like, just... like, move on, okay? Look, there's like, you're not a bad-looking dude. You can find somebody else but you are actually the problem here. But then they frame it with the romantic music and make it look like he's the good guy. It's like, no, you isn't he?
You ever seen Sleepless in Seattle? That's that's a famous rom-com, and basically, a little boy talks about how his father is alone. It's a Tom Hanks movie, and basically there's another woman who's with a lovely guy. They're getting married, and she just hears him talk about how lonely he is on the radio, and she just falls in love with him because of that. And then they go to see each other, breaks off her wedding, and
that's like that. Do you know what that is? That's a fucking incel's wet dream. I'm lonely and can't go. But then some woman is going to break off her marriage to go with it. Like, no. Maybe
you could almost argue that rom-coms are almost as psychologically damaging as like Saw and murder movies. Like the same way people say, Saw films will inspire serial killers. I'd say rom-coms would inspire emotional masochists, because they make people think that A, all these grand gestures are romantic, and B, it's totally justifiable to break people up and torture people psychologically just because you're in love or you're saving them from the wrong relationship.
It's weird though, because I don't think that Saw, I don't think teaches people to like sort of do
I mean, so not teachers, but inspire people to be violent. Like, there were actual people in America that did kidnap people. I think after like the second or third one, it was only like 2 cases, but it did happen.
Yeah, but I suppose that goes into about media causes violence. It's like, no, it doesn't. They're just unhinged people.
I just mean in the sort of way that it might inflate people's watching this egos to think this is how love actually is.
So we did that.
Fuck! No one will believe that wasn't intentional. That right there, that's as good as it gets.
That's as good as it gets,
sorry. Okay, that was on purpose.
Yeah, okay.
You ever seen that, as good as it gets?
No.
Good at shit.
Good at shit.
It really is.
I suppose, like, if you
I think that's a Jack Nicholson one.
I suppose in a way you could, like, hark that back to Twilight. That, like, if you're sort of like a young age and you don't really know what sort of like romance and stuff is, and then you see like this, you might be like, oh, okay, so it's okay for Edward to be watching someone while they
120-year-old, by the way.
Yeah, that's totally a romantic thing. It's like, no.
Not to mention, have you seen them all? Have you seen the second one?
No, I've only seen the first one.
In the second one, he leaves her, and what she does is she starts realizing because she goes in basically like a catatonic coma for like 3 months on end, and then she notices whenever she starts.
Why?
Because he left her. So she pretty much just stared out the window in sadness for like 3 months endward. Like, it's like literally like the way teenage girls think. It was the end of her life. But then it gets better. Because every time she began to notice, every time she put herself in danger, she hallucinated an apparition of him. So she kept doing it just to hallucinate him.
Yeah,
like driving motorbikes without a helmet and walking up to biker gangs. Because she was just so in love.
That's not love, though. That's infatuation.
That's obsession.
There's a difference between obsession and love, isn't there? Like,
although one could argue that is a very hard thing. Like, imagine you had to communicate to a robot what love is. You would begin describing a lot of things that could also come across as obsession.
Doesn't that violate like the first rule of robotics, though? They can't feel love or some shit.
Well, no, the first law of robotics, like Maslow. I can't remember the exact name, but that's I think Maslow's hierarchy in these. But the Asimov's laws of robotics are all surrounded around making sure robots just don't turn against humanity, can't harm a human. Like, you ever saw iRobot?
Oh yeah.
Basically like that.
Oh, right.
But no,
I've also seen Terminator, and they can hurt people.
Yeah. So if you actually had to describe to a machine or an artificial intelligence, or maybe just like say you're for whatever reason in a fucking poetry class trying to bang the teacher, and she tells you, describe love, the things you write down could be seen as like obsessive or like fucking possessive and all that sort of thing, because love is inherently possessive. You want the person you love to only love you, which, while is fair, is possessive.
And that's also like the kind of baseline of romantic comedy, or just romance films in general, isn't it?
I must possess that person.
I have this like sort of thing, and that's another thing. Like, monogamy is. I mean, there are animals that are monogamous, aren't there? Like
penguins. I think fucking.
Apparently, there is such thing as like penguin prostitutes.
What, like you give a penguin a fish and it knobs you?
Or other penguins give penguins.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah, a penguin gives another penguin a fish and it knobs you.
And it knobs you.
I was speaking from the context in the idea of the penguin world.
Yeah. There's like a penguin prostitution. But like monogamy, I suppose, is, because
I think it depends on the dynamic of the species. Like, obviously, like lions have a male pride, so the strongest male knobs all the things, same as wolves and all that. But obviously, some animals are like, don't buy into I think animals that aren't in a pack mentality can just, don't knob everything in sight.
Yeah, I suppose you can, though, because isn't that? I swear that's what happens, though. Like, lions in a pride, they can just knob all the females because they're like the big cat. The alpha male, that's the science word for it. The science word for it. That's it, yeah.
Well, yeah, the dominant male and all that palaver.
Yeah. But, like, I think, for the most part, romantic comedies, it's interesting that it is it's a hybrid of two genres. That...
What, like psychological thriller mixed with romance?
Well, I mean, yeah, so you can have like, but it's comedy and romance, so it's a hybrid. Like, you can have, like action, you can have like action and like.
Do you have an example of a?
So, for instance, like Pirates of the Caribbean, that is an action adventure film that also has like romance, like in it, and like romance can fit into like a few genres.
I think that's a lot of Western cinema, especially in America. There's always a romantic lead, and all that.
Like even if it's not primarily a romance film, like romance can go into loads of different like genres. I mean, this is an awful film, by the way. If you've watched it, I feel sorry for you, but like Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
Yeah, that they try to put like a romance film into like a war film.
Revisionist history at its fucking finest.
Yeah, and also another classic. I mean, we sort of touched upon this, but another classic trope of rom-coms is the love triangle.
Yeah, but like I said, trying to get one guy to want. And I think the idea of the love triangle, excellently put on there, is it's incredibly misogynistic. Because I've noticed so much in rom-coms, it's the idea of men coming to rescue the woman from the relationship they're in because they don't realise they're with the wrong man. Like, there is in my experience, unless there's a female lead, romantic comedies seem to take all the choice and power of relationship away from women and pretty much treat them as a tennis ball to be batted back and forth.
It's like they make them a plot device.
Yes, exactly. They're not a character, they're a goal to attain.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly demeaning, and it baffles me that so many women... Okay, I'm not trying to be... obviously, men do like rom-coms as well, but a lot of rom-coms are aimed towards women. And do you think it's maybe like an egotistical thing? Like women like the idea of like, so many men want me sort of thing?
I don't really know, because I'm not a woman, but...
What?
I think. I mean, I can show you if you want.
Well, with no need. Like I said, in terms of the
like...
canon, we always record these naked, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. But I tuck it between my legs. But I think...
Oh, yeah.
I think, though... I think it's maybe... I don't know. I think maybe it's a little bit different from men, because, like... I think men, for us, speaking as a man... it would obviously be very flattering if loads of women, like, fancied me. You know?
I think at that point the film becomes a fantasy.
Yeah.
Maybe just for us here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously it's not accurate, but I think maybe it's because I think it is like
a society sort of thing.
Yeah, potentially, because it's sort of not all the time. Like women can ask out men, but generally I think like men kind of it's. I think women definitely get more attention.
Yeah.
From the opposite sex, don't they?
Yeah, in like stereotypical society, it's men that chase women, not the other way around.
Yeah, it's like I know like girls or women that I know like get sort of DMs sort of quite a lot from other men.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know like other guys that get DM'd by like like women, you know what I mean? I think there's definitely a difference.
Well, apart from about once a week, it's like the Russian bot saying, "Hey, come check out my cam on this website."
Like, hey, much love to give or some shit like that.
Wants to friend request you. Click on the profile. No pictures, no nothing. Clearly, just an image they took off fucking Google.
Yeah.
Big fat hairy guy behind the thing mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, and then you got
Come check out my cam.
Check out my cam.
There's your next rom-com.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wait, there's been catfishing rom-coms, haven't there?
I mean,
there's
Catfish documentary, isn't there? Or was it a TV show or called Catfish?
And again, it's like I didn't say what's the worst kind of rom-com. I guess the one there, like I said before, whether it's a man or a woman that's broken up a perfectly happy couple sort of thing, because that is absolutely fucking psychotic.
Like if you did that in real life, then you are just a terrible person.
And like you said before, like the big gestures, like you said in Twilight, and you get it in rom-coms, like people that stalk people, that just watch them go about their day, and all these big gestures, like when you're out someone's house and you're holding up the boombox for them to come to the window and shit like that.
Yeah, it's the guy though, again in Love Actually, who's like, he films like Keira Knightley's wedding video, but he only films her. And you're just like, mate, like if someone did that in real life, like someone's getting smacked.
You could put like creepy music behind that, and it would look like
like the Halloween
person...
music.
Yeah, like it'd be like a fucking.
Or the Saw music.
Yeah.
Yeah, put that behind that shit. That becomes a horror instantly.
Again, I think it's just like the unhealthy obsession with the romanticized ideal about love that we perpetuate in westernized media, which creates an unhealthy obsession and unrealistic standards of how we actually copulate our mating partners.
I also feel that Disney has
that was a mouthful.
I feel like Disney also has a part to play, at least for our for quite a few people, because like some of
obviously-
that romance or romance like things in Disney's like
To be fair, a lot of their films take place like centuries ago when
yeah, but it
was sort of normal.
but it's still the same message that you're perpetrating in
Not
like,
Hercules.
the first one, not Hercules.
That
no.
was a pretty good one. He gave up being a god for her, and she was that was always.
And
pretty
also,
good.
she was actually a strong, well-characterized person.
Oh wait, hang on. Hercules might just be a simp then.
Why? Because Meg has personality.
No, because he gave up everything for her.
Yeah, for like what, 2 minutes?
Well, he was willing to die for her. Then he gave up being a god for her.
Yeah, but then he didn't, because at the end he became Hercules strong.
Yeah, but remember, he was about to go up to Olympus, but he turned back and said, "Nah, fuck you guys. I'm going to go back to Earth and be with Meg."
Did he do that? I swear he was
Yeah,
there.
remember
I
when
swear
he-
there was a big song and dance at the end.
Yeah, remember when he
up
picked
on
her out
Olympus.
of the underworld, he was glowing because he became a god, and then he had to live in Olympus, but humans can't live in Olympus, so he said, "Fuck you guys," and went
No,
to
she didn't. Oh, did that how that end?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that.
Anyway,
But there's shit.
Hunchback, that's not too bad. Esmeralda, again, another strong female lead.
Yeah. No, that is.
I'm noticing a pattern. Grown women in Disney films tend to be the more emotionally mature. Whereas, like, Ariel...
almost as if they're like real people that you can relate to. Isn't that shocking? Can't believe.
But again, in rom-coms, it's meant to be grown adults, like the human, like people like in their like late 20s, because that's usually like, oh, it's time to settle down and all that sort of thing. I'll go steal this. Eddie Murphy touched upon I think it was Eddie Murphy touched upon. No, I think it might have been Chris Rock. Basically, talking about when a guy sees his best friend with an amazing woman, he goes, "Wow, she's amazing. I've got to get me a girl like that." But when a woman sees her best friend with a great guy, she goes, "Man, he's great. I've got to get him." I think it was Chris Rock who said that.
Did it? Oh.
It's like...
Yeah, again, that is weird though, isn't it? So it's like, oh look, my friend has got this like amazing person, but I want it. It's like that sort of child thing. It's like it's like you didn't want it until someone else had it.
Yeah.
Which again is like not healthy at all.
There's the other rom-com formula where the guy is clearly with the wrong girl, and the girl he ends up with at the end was like his assistant the whole time, or the best friend he'd never noticed, or just someone that was like like the nanny for his kid, and it turns out, I'm gonna leave you, you puffed up bitch.
Yeah, was it so? A Million Ways to Die in the West does that.
Hell yeah.
So does god damn it, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, Silver Linings Playbook. Got there eventually.
Even fucking Nanny McPhee did that. Again, that's not exactly a rom-com, but again, we seem to perpetuate like the idea that, and again, it's a really unhealthy image to put the idea that whoever you're with, you might not be with your true soulmate, because you get these people that are in committed, functioning, full long-term relationships, bordering on marriage and all that sort of things, and they just throw everything away for the chance at true love.
Alan Rickman in fucking Love Actually.
His wife
happily
was lovely.
married with a child. You're gonna fucking do Emma Thompson dirty like that?
Yeah, and it's even more psychotic when
Far be it from me to speak ill of the dead.
Yeah, a lot of the time, the people they leave the other person for were perfectly nice people, but they just weren't the one. And that is the worst thing. I think maybe that's why rom-coms come off so badly, and people just like, even if it's the most stupid film, people just get into the romance.
Yeah. I mean, Disney does it like fucking Cinderella. Oh, it's like the one. Sleeping Beauty. Oh, it's the one.
I would honestly argue, I think we've touched upon this before, maybe in the Valentine's episode, I personally don't believe in the idea of I do believe in true love, but the idea of only having one true love or love at first sight, shit like that.
Yeah, love at first sight, that's bollocks.
Your soul is not destined for anyone.
Yeah, because it's like human nature. Like, you're essentially like the baseline is to like reproduce, right? So it's like it's like a biological thing. So,
that's the architect in you.
Yeah. That's the architect, not the scientist. The architect.
That's always it in rom-coms. The main character, that's a classic Hugh Grant thing. It's always an architect for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, someone who's got like quite a good job.
Yeah, money is never an issue in rom-coms.
Yeah. And like you were saying, like it's always like the other man in the third love triangle is always like some arse. I was like, he's a Wall Street
Yeah, it's
guy
a real douchey sort of thing, like tells the girl what to do.
Just sort of pulling up the Jaguar.
Almost unrealistically douchey, so that...
Yeah.
Again, it's just like...
I think, like, the third guy, like, the Wall Street is often, I think, what communists think every... like person with money is like
lighting their cigar with a 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh look, the pause. Oh no, wait, that's our Prime Minister.
Going with their secretariat. Can we move up that orphan kicking session to 2, please?
Yeah. Hello. Sorry. Can I book an hour to tell your mum jokes to orphans? Like.
They do make them sometimes unrealistically bad, and I think maybe that's the final sort of point. Would you say the objective of rom-coms is to empathise with the main character? I would honestly, are you just meant to observe the love story? Are you actually meant to agree with what the main character's doing, even if they're doing something horrible?
I think, from a filmmaking perspective, it is probably safe to say that you are supposed to empathise with the main guy.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. Which I think would be quite good if... there probably are a few films, I can't name any this moment, but where you can actually... I mean, when you take a step back... I mean, so like, for instance, we've done it, just now, like, looking at sort of love films where... So, like, obviously, you're supposed to empathise with Edward, right, in Twilight.
Did you say Ed... Oh,
Edward,
right,
yeah,
sorry.
in Twilight, yeah.
Oh, so I thought you were naming the film's director, Ed Wood.
Oh, Ed...
I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, that film cover.
Was Bella meant to be his stepdaughter?
Sorry. But like, so you're supposed to empathise with Edward and also Jason. Because that's like the sort of ultimate love triangle if you want to name it. Edward, team Jacob, even not Jason, Jacob.
I think that would have been better.
Yeah, Jason Voorhees and Edward Cullen.
Oh, how cool would that be?
Would
just to
cool,
see the fucking Jason like hack up vampires.
Yeah, also, like, Jason can't die. Can you imagine?
That would have been cooler.
Yeah, that would have been way cooler. But like, you're supposed to empathise. Neither of them are good people. Neither of them are good people. But you're supposed to empathise somewhat. Like,
I think Jason could be in a
side.
romance movie. He's a strong, silent type.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah. Man of no words.
He enjoys weekends away at like a log cabin.
Yeah, exactly. Like
he has a cabin on the lake, actually.
Like Michael Myers. He saw his sister having sex and was like, you know what? I need to cut this guy out, quite literally. Murdered him and then murdered his sister.
Yeah, he's just a protective
So then it was
brother.
just him by himself. Exactly.
Freddy Krueger always works to make his girls' dreams come true.
Yeah. Exactly. Make them real.
Yeah, he makes their dreams a reality.
What are there rom-com horrors? Yeah, there must. Yeah.
No, rom-com horror.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of those things. Like they say, you can't mix like comedy and tragedy. Romantic comedy horror.
I think in a way you can. Shaun of the Dead, famously, the sort of slogan was romantic comedy with zombies, because that's like gore fest. It's not gore fest, but there's gore and blood in it. It's a type of horror.
When
right?
I say like tragedy, imagine if while the Titanic is singing, they just decided to throw in a clown juggling on the deck as they're going in the water.
You just have Pennywise going, "You'll float." Oh wait, no. No, sorry. He's just stood on the iceberg after the Titanic goes down. He goes, "I stand corrected."
There's another horror movie guy, Pennywise, great sense of humour, good with children. He's got a stable job in the entertainment industry.
Yeah. Until after the film's made, in which case he makes loads of clowns unemployable. But whatever.
Fuck him.
There's also the I see this quite a lot with, I guess the first one I think about is probably Seth Rogen, about how like the guy who is just like actually really bad for the girl.
How do you mean?
Somehow. Yeah, so it's like the guy who's like sort of like he's got no job, he's a bit of a bum, and stuff like that. But then
the guy needs to like get his act together. Sort of thing.
Exactly. But then he does it. But then the girl's like, "Oh, look, you have no job, no way to sustain your life, even though you're a grown man. How romantic!" Like, no, like that's not the sort of people that real people go for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's another thing. It's like, oh well, I could. It's like, oh, that's like another thing that's sort of like very sort of unrealistic sort of about. I mean, I know they're not supposed to be hugely realistic, but it's just like, I don't know why. I mean, I get the sort of underdog story. I can appreciate a good underdog story, but
but I think there's a bigger staple there, because this is how Western media tells us this is what love is. That just says a lot about how Western culture actually views romance. If these are the movies they make for us and we enjoy them.
Yeah.
Like, part of it, again, I'm victim blaming here, but we're the ones that, like these movies. We're the reason these rom-coms exist.
If it works, it works. I suppose that...
What would you say is your most insufferable rom-com trope?
Oh... I think for me, it's probably anyone that involves the kind of love triangle. Just because it's so overdone, and the moment I see it, I'm like, I know how this is going to end. I know it's going to start. I know how it's going to middle. That's good English. And I know how it's going to end. I think love triangles, I mean, again, like you said, it's tried and tested. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I just can't do that. I'm more of a, I like a sort of, not like, but I suppose one of the kind of, it is a trope, but ones that I think can be used quite well is like the sort of forbidden love kind of thing. That can work like kind of well, or like love that's not supposed to be. That can work sometimes. Pretty Woman is one of them.
Yeah.
I
don't know, I'm not saying every rom-com is evil. Yeah. Some of them do have a nice, healthy story sort of thing of just someone finding love. Like.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's kookiness.
Yeah. There is also, of course, this isn't really, I mean, we talk about rom-coms, but I think like just romance in general. There's obviously, the one, the man, very strong, muscular, white shirt. It's raining, so obviously it's see-through. So accentuate all his muscles.
Oh, the kiss in the rain.
And there's the kiss in the rain, the crying, because symbolism of rain and tears.
The way you just said crying, that just made me think of I think it was in Spider-Man 2 when he's on the bridge with the ring and Spider-Man begins crying. I think it was Spider-Man 3. I love you.
I've always also about this Spider-Man 1 when he does the upside down kiss.
In the rain,
yeah. in the rain.
Why is rain so romantic? It's cold and wet.
Yeah, I know. It's like rain, I think, should like...
Because it's vulnerable?
I mean, yeah, maybe. I personally, I think like if rain's used, it should kind of denotes, like suffering or stuff like that. Mainly from seeing like war movies when like soldiers are in like a muddy trench in the rain. It's like, it really sucks, but then for some reason it's romantic. It's never romantic. We've been caught out in the rain before. It's never romantic.
It's one of those tone-deaf romantic moments. You've seen Man of Steel, right?
Oh.
That moment when Clark and Lois share a kiss with the smouldering remains of Metropolis behind them. Like, he's just fought Zod and destroyed a city, and they share a kiss. It's like... Oh no! It's the most tone-deaf romantic moment.
Yeah, it's like, I get to kiss you, but so many bodies. Or they like,
literally standing on graves.
Yeah, exactly, a mass grave. Like someone's gonna have to fucking dig that shit up and identify the body.
Oh my god! Did you see the second Maleficent movie? I watched that.
I didn't know there was a second.
Yeah, I watched it with Rianne, and there's a giant battle in the castle against magical people and human forces.
I kind of watch that now.
Listen. Oh, great, I don't want to spoil this then.
Oh, no, it's okay. I don't care about
spoilers.
Alright,
so there's the massive battle, people dying left and right. It's of course resolved, and in the aftermath of the battle, Maleficent says, right, we're going to have this wedding that was originally going to happen. And the whole place is littered with bodies, and swear to God, they immediately go into a wedding.
Really? No
Because it's a fairy tale ending, into a wedding.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I was there next to my partner, I was like, are they not going to clear away all the bodies? And, like, so many people are dead, and they immediately have a wedding.
To be fair, to be fair, there is one bit that I will say I do like, which is in Pirates of the Caribbean 3 when Will and Elizabeth get
On
married.
the ship.
Yeah, but during a sword fight. I'm like, you know what, that's actually very funny. And
having the Barbossa marry them because of the ship captain.
on the ship during a sword fight. And I was like, that's actually really funny because like it's I mean, even though Pirates of the Caribbean is not strictly a rom-com, but it's like that is sort of it's like a new kind of like thing. Actually marrying someone during a fight.
To be fair though, funny. I kind of found like Will and Kate. Was that the character's name? Will and Kate? Kate something anyway. I found their
Prince
kind
William, Kate Middleton.
I don't know. I found their relationship kind of boring. You know who I was more interested in? Davy Jones and Calypso's. Like I just found that moment when they were in the cell.
Elizabeth. Will and
Elizabeth, yeah. I just found that bit with Davy Jones and Calypso. I found they were chatting. I was like, this seems interesting because you can actually see the pain on each other.
That's actually a tragic love story.
Yeah, because obviously she wasn't there for him, and
after 10 years, and then it was like 10 years he's only allowed to see like the one person he loves.
Well, it goes without saying he just can't step foot on dry land, but. There was a moment when he was stood in a bucket of water on land, so there are clear loopholes here. Can't they do the thing like Klaus from American Dad and just get him a little pool to push himself around in?
I think that's literally what he did though.
Yeah, just put it on like on a little go-kart.
Yeah, like on a little like a wagon or something.
That's good for the captain of the dead on the sea.
Yeah, no, just get him a bath, put wheels on the bath, just wheel him around. Also, it's not like she can't go on the ship either.
Yeah, what, the goddess of the sea? Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? But no, they've actually got like a tragic sort of like he's like very good tragic villain. I think he's really
well, that's why they all became like fishified because he stopped doing his job, didn't he? He stopped ferrying the dead.
Yeah, tentacly.
But we were talking about before the worst tropes in romantic comedies. Mine is the liar reveal. It always happens in the third part. Basically, like 90% of rom-coms start because of a lie, and as the lie carries on and the guy actually falls in love, but in the third act, the other person finds out about the lie, and they break up, and there's 10 minutes of moping, and then there's the big gesture and they get back. I hate the liar reveal. How could you lie to me? You didn't love me at all. No, I actually very clearly did. Think about it for a moment. No, you won't explain. Yeah. I'll throw the flowers back in your face and storm out.
Again, a very toxic behaviour as well. No, you see, I love you so much that I lied to you.
Well, it starts off with the line, then they fall in love as they get to know them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like Run, Fat Boy, Run. Again, like that's like, well, it's not like a lie, but it's like like there's the build up and then there's the fake not break up where like she's angry at him or he's angry at her, and then eventually they make up at the end, and it's just like it's like a speed bump to get over to the end. You're like, we're at this part of the film, so it's going to end in about 15 minutes.
Or she's like, this is over, and goes back to marry the guy, and then literally as they're about to, like, even Shrek made fun of this on the I object. Yeah. So they stop the wedding just in the nick of time, and then the runaway bride sort of thing is like. It's again a horrible thing. Weddings cost so much money. Family have travelled from all. That's what pissed me off in Mamma Mia. These people travel to the Greek Isles, hundreds of pounds in plane tickets, and then they're like, let's just not get married. You motherfuckers.
That's the thing, it's like, it probably wouldn't even be the like the group that'd be most, like if I was at a wedding and someone did that, I'd be the one to stand up and say, mate, fuck off. No, fuck the fuck off, alright? I have driven a long way to get here, and I will not have it ruined by whoever the fuck you are.
You registered your fucking wedding presents at Tiffany's or Pandora. You're getting fucking married because I don't have a receipt.
Yeah, I had to order my Pandora shit online because they wouldn't let me in the store because I was too dirty. Fuck you.
I just can't. And again, I know these big gestures, so romantic, but it's literally fucking psychotic. Like, especially when we talk about the corporate stuff, like the architects, there's always a big meeting. The person, the guy who was about to, like, do the big company merger and make all this money, but was like, I have to go. And he gets out of the meeting and goes to the girl and probably costs his company, like, millions and loses jobs.
And also, like, you know what? Like, if he'd closed the deal, he would have made enough money that he wouldn't have to chase a girl.
Oh, that's actually probably lost so many people their own jobs and all that.
Yeah. It's, what's that film with
Rom-com Collateral Damage is
who's
huge.
who's the guy who plays Rain Man? You know.
I can't recall.
Hang on. What's his name? It's Rain Man cast. He's really. I can't believe I don't. Yeah, Dustin Hoffman.
All right.
There's that that film that they did quite well, I think, where he does the old I object thing.
Yeah.
But then it's at the end. It's playing. Is it? No, it's not Midnight Cowboy. I don't think. Is it The Graduate? I don't know. But then there's a part where like she runs off with him, and then they sit in the back of the bus, and then they sort of like look at each other, and they're like both their expressions are like, "Oh shit, this was actually a mistake." And I'm just like, that is actually a really good way to end it.
Oh yeah, The Graduate.
Is that it? Is that
The Graduate. Yeah, he takes her on the wedding. But there's an interesting fact about that film. The reason they stopped smiling is because the director was meant to yell "cut" as they sat down, and them losing their faces was actually them sort of realizing, is he going to yell "cut"? They loved it so much. The idea, like once you, and that's how it comes off.
That's such a cool fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, a little film.
Yeah, I like that.
It was meant to yell "cut," but they didn't. So the actors just gradually let their faces deteriorate.
And with the music in the background as well, it's like it actually sort of it's sort of
hello darkness.
Yeah, exactly. And then it has that kind of thing that it's like, well, actually, not like just because it's a romantic comedy, she runs off. It's like, don't mean it's not a mistake.
Well, that's another problem with romance ever. Like, what happens after Happily Ever After?
Yeah, exactly.
I think, again, that Game of Thrones touched upon that sort of thing, the idea, because that takes place in after Happily Ever After. You know, the evil's defeated, the realm's in peace.
Yeah.
But what now?
Yeah, well, then there's another evil, isn't there?
Yeah, you've destroyed so many people's lives and all that, so you two can be together. What now? How long does love last?
Yeah, exactly.
Although that's a little bleak.
I mean, to be fair, like, Shrek does it quite well. In fact, there is the Happily Ever After, and then there's like, and then there's the sort of the kind of setback. Again, you know, they do the love triangles sort of well. You know, the bad like, but it's they reverse it, don't they? Like Prince Charming, Shrek in the second one, which by the way, I think is the stronger of the films. The second one, Shrek 2, yeah. But then they have Shrek the third, where they all have babies. Where they have children, and then Shrek's basically it's like the mundane life of, you know, childbirth.
Yeah.
Oh no, Shrek. It's
the fourth one where he's beginning to hate
kids.
being his life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's the third one where she becomes pregnant. Yeah, and then it's the fourth one when they actually like have Shrek Forever After they actually have babies. Yeah, no, that's true. I think with Game of Thrones about sort of like it's like it is after the happy ever, even though it's not really happy ever after because like you know the girl that Robert was trying to get died and also turned out actually cheated on him.
It was just more the idea of like officially like the Mad King was dead, like the 8 kingdoms are united. Everyone like Robb Stark went home to raise his family, bought a bastard, but still.
Yeah.
But then that's the thing.
Oh no, he was going to be a family man. What a terrible guy.
I think it's more maybe this is just me inferring or projecting onto George R.R. Martin. It's the idea that there's no such thing as a happily ever after because the human nature is to always find the next problem to solve, and there will always, and if there isn't one, create
and
one.
Also real life like sort of sucks.
Yeah.
Even though it's a fantasy, he tries to make his character. I mean, he did an interview when people asked like, "How do you create characters?" He's like, "Oh, I sort of write them as just normal people. That's why they're flawed and stuff like that."
There's actually in a rom-com, I think it was As Good as It Gets. Jack Nicholson was a famous author, and a woman actually came up to him and said, like, "How do you write women so well?" And he actually said, "First, I think of a man, then I take away reason and accountability."
Jack Nicholson is cool,
like the idea of like the women just do anything and don't expect repercussions.
Yeah,
as a joke.
I'm thinking about because I've been like recently watching Outlander, and I mean you haven't watched it, and if people have watched it, you might be knowing what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched it, well then you should. But this isn't too much. Well, there's a bit of spoilers, but it's like centered around a woman, right? She's married with a husband, loving relationship. Then she gets transported back in time and then meets another man within like a month, they're having sex. And it's like, mate, like I know you've been transported back in time, but you're still married and kind of cheating.
Yeah.
You know, like that's, but it's okay because she's just so in love. It's like, no, you're still a bad person. Like, come on.
It's like was it the film Euro Trip when they're trying to find loopholes? It's not cheating if it's in another state as the moment it hits midnight.
When in Rome, do as Romans do.
Fictional, well, as authors ourselves, in your story, is there much romance that you've had to write for?
No, there's one romantic. See, I have characters that are married.
No nobbings during the Blitz or anything?
No nobbings, during the Blitz, no. No, I mean, a number of my characters are married. There's a little, no, not much romance. There is a little bit, you know.
I mean, if the story doesn't need...
Yeah.
Another big problem in Hollywood movies is them forcing romance on a situation that doesn't demand it.
Thinking of Black Widow and Hulk.
Yeah.
It's just like, look,
no one was into that.
Yeah, it's like, look, it's like, it's not that we don't like it; it's the fact that we don't care enough.
And yet we all enjoyed Wanda and Vision.
Yeah, because theirs was actually somewhat like
compelling.
Nice.
Yeah,
exactly. Also, you know, even though it's like not right, but like Hawkeye and his family, you see them for all of like 2 minutes, but you're invested. You're like, oh, this is a family man,
and
stuff like that, and then they're gone, and you feel bad for them. It's like Black Widow and Hulk. It's like, no, honey, don't do that.
If all of my family suddenly dusted, the first thing I do is go to Japan and kill people.
Yeah.
Which is what he did.
Do you think that was his thing?
My family's gone. Book a plane ticket.
Yeah, my family's gone. Whoa! I can travel now. because the Yakuza aren't coming after my family anymore.
There must have been no travel. Like half the world's population. There's no trading. There's no travel. People, no fucking way. Like airports are still functioning.
Well, half the airports maybe are still functioning.
Exactly. So let's not go into all of that.
Yeah. No, I think bottom line, I think for rom-coms is that they're what I like to call good trash. They're a bit like, you know, those sort of they're a bit like the expendable movies. Like they're good trash. They can be fun, but at the end of the day, like actually they're
you ever seen The Princess Bride?
Dumb with Anne Hathaway.
It's got Anne Hathaway. It's got a lot of stars in it.
Is Anne Hathaway in it though? I think I might have seen it. Or oh no, Devil Wears Prada.
It's got Andre the Giant in it. It's also got it's got quite a few stars in it, and that's actually a really good romantic comedy.
I swear Anne Hathaway is in that
Princess Bride.
I swear
it's
she
been
is.
years since I watched it. It's got a lot of stars in it, and it's a really enjoyable film.
Princess Bride. I'm asking Siri. Princess Bride. Princess Bride. Starring...
Those of you listening right now, Robert is currently...
trying to use technology.
Yes.
Starring Carrie Ells Mandy Patinkin. Okay. 1988?
It's a very old film, yeah.
Oh, right. That might be it. I don't know.
What would you say is for the last few minutes, what is your best fictional relationship? The best portrayal of a genuine love in media? Because rom-coms we've sort of detailed.
Okay, yeah.
Rom-coms do it wrong. Where has done it right?
Okay, right. Oh, that is... Oh, that's quite tricky. I think for me, sort of ever... I think it's quite an obscure one. And it's so obscure that you don't actually even see the woman. But it's in Band of Brothers.
Oh, right.
Band of Brothers, if you haven't seen Band of Brothers, then you absolutely need to. And if you have, you just need to. It's one of the best TV series ever. It's about 20 years old now. Yeah, no, I think it's 20 years old now. Anyway. But it's based on a true story. But there's a character called Lieutenant Harry Welsh, paratrooper, and he, meets a girl, they get married, and a little bit of history here. Parachutes were made out of silk, so really rare kind of cheap stuff, and he sends his parachute.
Cheap.
No, very uncheap, expensive.
Oh, right.
Yeah, very rare, expensive stuff. Silk.
Are they not now?
I mean, silk's still pretty expensive.
I mean, the parachutes, are they not silk anymore?
I don't know if they are silk. I think they might be something a little bit different. I don't know what they're made of now. But back in World War II, made out of silk. And he sent his parachute back to his fiancée to make into a wedding dress. And she made it into a wedding dress. And
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, that's...
The thing that saved his life.
Yeah,
he said
exactly.
That I get that. That's a really cool gesture.
And it's also, it's true as well. Like, it's, even though it's in a TV show, it's a true thing that actually happened, which I think is just really cool.
That is a really good example.
Yeah, what about you?
Best fictional relationship I've ever seen put on media is Morticia and Gomez Adams.
Oh, fuck. Yes.
Those two, I would never doubt an inch of their love. These two people are obsessed with each other. They are literally the example of true love I've ever seen. Like, goes without saying, they enjoy the bit of kinky romance and all that, but these two, whenever they're in the same room to each other, cannot stop looking at each other. No matter how, they could spend a millennia together and they'll still, and you feel like they'd still dance in the mornings. Like, Gomez and Morticia Adams are hands down the greatest fictional relationship.
Yeah, I concur. I agree 100%. That is true. That is definitely true. 100%. Yeah, for sure.
Like, that is literal relationship goals.
Yeah. And again, you know, that's
I mean, fair play to the actor and actress that played them. They did it so well.
Apparently, the actress who played Wednesday Addams in the Addams Family, apparently she's going to play Morticia in the new Addams Family thing that's coming out. I don't know.
Is that canon? Or...
No, but the actress is going to play Morticia. The actress who played Wednesday.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just like, I don't see the point of that. Was it just for like novelty or something?
Oh no, maybe she looks like her now. I don't know.
Oh, I guess does she stay being an actress and all that? Or...
No, the actress who plays Wednesday Addams.
Yeah, does she continue being an actress through her life, or they just bringing her back?
What? No, in reality.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
You said they're bringing her. She's going to be the next Morticia, right?
Yeah, they're bringing the Addams Family. Thing
okay,
back.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and the actress who played Wednesday Addams in the films is going to play Morticia in the new thing.
Fair enough.
Which is kind of cool.
Let us know down in the comments your favourite fictional relationship. We want to see what you guys come up with. It can be
also your least favourite, because we thrive on hatred.
Absolutely. Let us know down in the comments. But also, maybe you disagree and see if you can defend rom-coms if you want to attempt it. These absolutely emotional masochists destroying every life around them just so that they can find their destiny.
Yeah.
That's how I see rom-coms.
Yeah. And, you know, we're proud men, but not proud enough to admit when we're wrong. Not to admit when we're wrong. So, you know,
absolutely.
maybe you can build a case. You probably can, because as you saw in the disclaimer at the beginning of this video, we're two fucking idiots.
I'm always open to change my mind if someone can change my mind.
Yeah.
Like that meme sort of thing with the coffee cup, like rom-coms are fucking emotional masochism. Change my mind.
Yeah. Oh, it's like what's it? Yeah, Secretary. Have you seen that?
Secretary.
It's got Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's basically 50 Shades of Grey, but good.
Oh, how did we not talk about that, Rob?
Because 50 Shades of Grey is not a rom-com. That's just that's like an instruction manual on what not to do in a relationship.
But that's the thing, they do all the rom-com things just without the comedy, the obsession, the one rich corporate guy, the stalking, and all the fucking... It has all the negative elements of a rom-com, but without the com.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not even romantic. It's just, abuse? I don't know. It's
certainly some sort of coercion, because he almost like infiltrates her life to a degree where it's like Stockholm syndrome.
He sells her car
and gets her a new one.
For her. Like he just does it. And she's like, "Where's my car?" And it's like, "Oh, here's the new one. I sold your old one and I just bought you this one because I decided to."
Yes, rich, sexy man, fix my life for me.
Yes. Also, here's a contract that I need you to sign.
God, that was so much of the film.
Yeah, no, it was so... I mean, no, that was... I think we've already chatted shit, actually, about 50 Shades, haven't we?
I think we probably did that in the Valentine's Day episode.
I think we did, didn't we? Yeah.
So let us know down in the comments below what you think, what you thought. And again, your fictional favourite relationship. We want to hear them.
Yes, we do. And until then, thanks for listening. And speaking of which, you've been listening to...
Laughing